Hi, and welcome to the module on looking at basic mathematics inside of Excel. If you open the file called Basic Math, the very first spreadsheet is called Basic Rounding. And in this module, we're going to look at how Excel will sometimes round your numbers, and you might get the wrong result, but you just need to change the format of the numbers or use a couple of functions within Excel that relate to rounding the numbers. Over here I have a sheet of items with prices, and I'd like to calculate the new price based on an increase in cell G1 of 2.34%. So to do this, I would equals my existing price multiplied by the increase. Don't forget we need to lock that cell because we're going to copy the formula down. So click F4 on your keyboard to lock it. And then we need to add the original price again to calculate the new data. So we get a new price of 8.19, which seems correct. However, if let's say I was going to order 10,000 of the new units at the new price, I would take my new price, multiply that by 10,000. I'm not getting the result I'm actually looking for, because technically in my mind I should have a price there of 81,900. So what we can do is we can use our decimals to see what's going on. And there's a misconception that in the number box you've got an option that says increase decimals and decrease decimals. By increasing and decreasing your decimals, you are not changing the values. The content in the cell is exactly the same. You are simply showing or hiding decimal places. So in this case, what we're going to do, we're going to increase our decimals. And as we do that, you will see that because of rounding of numbers, this now makes perfect sense. So how do we change our function to get the right result? So what we're going to do is inside of our function box, we are going to tell Excel to round this number to the nearest penny or cents, depending what currency you're working with. So in the front of the function, you're going to choose the round function, put in your formula or function that we've just done, and when it asks for the number of digits, to get it to the closest penny or cent, you would have to use 2 decimals at all times. Now this makes a little bit more sense, and if we increase our decimals, it makes perfect sense. To show you another example of how decimals can severely impact the look and feel of your spreadsheet, as well as misconception that formulas are wrong, let me just quickly copy this down so we get accurate information. If we have a look here, we've got 5 values of 4.6 each, and we've got a sum function. Now, if we select all this data, we can see in our status bar over here that the sum is actually 23. However, if I had to decrease my decimals by 2, look what happens to my value at the bottom. It stays the same. And we all know that 5 times 5 is not 23. So just keep this in mind when you're looking at a value and you're not 100% sure that you're getting the right answer. Use your decimals to try and understand how the rounding is taking place. And if it's not accurate, you can use your round function by adding 2 units at the end to make sure that you are rounding to the correct penny or cent to give yourself an accurate answer.